Hello everyone, my name is Khalior. I bring to you every week the latest news related to Bloodhunt and everything around it, and I help explain the news in a way to better understand what is going on. For posterity, archival and recording purposes, it is currently Saturday, February 18, 2023. It is 11:27 a.m. Eastern Time at the day of recording. It has been 298 days since the release of Bloodhunt. Currently activated in game is the permanent Nemesis Pass, and the current patch that we're on is the Hunting Rifle update. We are recording this live on Twitch every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you're live, feel free to ask questions in the chat. And reminder and disclosure, I am not a game dev. I'm not bound by an NDA, but I'll do the best to explain the news with some reasonable assumptions. And also, I do not work for Sharkmob. I do not work in collaboration with Sharkmob. I'm not one of their employees. I'm my own man doing my own free thing. Just so you know. Hit the like notification to support and smash the subscribe button so you get notifications of these newscasts. Yes, indeed, Warcry. Also, join my Discord. I'm going to be talking about that soon. The topics for today, we're going to be talking, of course, as usual, about Twitch drops, about the free Bloodhunt things. We're going to be talking some developer answers to community questions, touch on some Bloodhunt-related news. Going to be talking about the tournament that's coming soon, next week, and a quick word on things related to community, but mostly my community. But first, if you haven't, please give me a follow on Twitter, on Twitch, on the Discord. Even if you're not gonna turn notifications on, it would mean a lot. I stream very casually during the week, whenever I feel like it, and whenever my IRL job allows me to do. It's very, very hard to do that. It's been hell month for me. I'm streaming mostly Bloodhunt, but I'm also playing other games, so join in and let me know if that's the kind of content that you would like to see from me. For instance, tomorrow the objective is to play some Alien Isolation and a campaign of Destiny 2. So join in if ever that might interest you. Whenever I play Bloodhunt, I do giveaways from Bloodhunt, and sometimes I give away some special things. So if you're following, you might know all of this. So anyways, that being said, let's dig in. So, as usual, I will be posting links to anything that I currently have and I can share with everyone. Carseat Gaming, hello. So the Twitch drop of the week is the Duskborn makeup, and it is available. It is available on anyone that is streaming Bloodhunt on with the official tag in the official category, and you have drops enabled on your channel. There you go. That is a very cool makeup. I can't wait. I haven't logged in to try it on since yesterday, but is there since yesterday for the whole week. I can't wait to see what kind of combos you can make with the different types of masks that we have in the game currently. This is the last Twitch drop of this current series of drops that we've had for that we had since the beginning of January. So we're waiting to hear for confirmation of what's happening next Friday, but very likely from the talks that we've had in the Inner Circle content creator channel, it's very likely going to be a group repeat of the last 6 drops of the week. If you've been a part of all this before, you know how this works. I already have a mock-up that's ready here, so this is again not confirmed, but this would be the previous 6 drops that we've had. It's usually something like that. Yeah, you get those 6 cosmetics in 2 hours of view time, you get a bunch and then get another bunch but it's up to them to decide exactly how they do this. As the Bloodhunt channel has told me on stream once in a while, they like to keep me on my toes. They like to switch up things once in a while, so we never know, and that's why it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed the end date, but so far it's looking like next Friday, that's what we're going to have for a whole week. And then we will have a new series of drops. That has been confirmed. But what they are, how long they're gonna be there, what we're gonna have, we don't know yet. So stay tuned. We're gonna have some news about that. You need yourself more eye patches, yeah, probably. Just wanted to touch a little bit on. There's some people that have been asking that have had questions about exactly like the involvement of Twitch drops on the side of the developers. Now, for people that weren't there at the time or people that didn't necessarily know, there was a stream where Combat Glue explained a little bit of the process on his end, how it worked for him to make some drops available for us. And he had explained that basically he had to make an order to whoever takes care of the cosmetics or takes care of the items in game. He has to order like, hey guy, I need some Twitch drops. I need 6 Twitch drops. And they will pick and choose from a library of existing and already created items. So it's not like suddenly he asked like, can I have 6 Twitch drops? And they like drop everything and start making drops this week. Like there's a bunch of them that have already been made that are just like sitting there and just waiting to be distributed. So they have to pick and choose, and the person that takes care of this, they need to tag the items to determine how they're going to be obtained. Because if it's available to everyone, like he unlocks it to make it available to everyone whenever people log in or whatever, but he has to tag them that you need to claim them by Twitch and all of this, and also make sure that they're properly allocated in the live game. So let's say you've got like these eyeglasses that are supposed to be made available. Are they actually in the live game? If not, can we unlock them or like make sure that it's properly unlocked and all of that stuff? And then I imagine there's a few screenshots that are taken to be uploaded on the website, on Twitch, and for social media. But a lot of that stuff is kind of like normal in terms of effort. It's very like kind of low effort. Like there's already templates that already exist, I assume, on their end to make this very like not very time consuming to have all of this available. The most time consuming part of all of this is to have the cosmetics made. But I assume, at least that's usually how most game companies work, a lot of the cosmetics have been already made like a long time in the past. Like I don't know exactly like specifically for Bloodhunt how they get to create the items. The way I understand it is that the process of creating the in-game cosmetics, it's not something that you pop out of nowhere. It's not something that they will like stop in the middle of the week to go like, oh my god, we need item for Twitch. No, there's they need to contact artists, there's sketches, then there's the design of it, then there's putting the skins on the meshes, and if you need like custom meshes on top of that, then they have to be made too. And through all of these steps, there's different levels of like back and forth of feedback. And sometimes, designs get rejected and they have to work on this. It's like, oh, could you do this or could you do that? So there's like back and forth and all that. And then all of this, there's feedback and there's like levels of approvals on top of that. So it's a much more involved process. Usually that's typically how it's done. I don't know if that's the way that it works for Bloodhunt. But, for that part of a creation, usually I'm going by what Combat Glue said like many, many months ago when people asked him about the process. So I just wanted to make sure that, repeat for if anyone like wanted to know a little bit about that. So, that being said, in terms of the free things that we can get for Bloodhunt, over the course of the last week, the Electrona's Shroud outfit has expired. And instead, this week, we got ourselves the Lost Lover mask just in time for Valentine's Day. And yeah, it's the same usual process. You log on to bloodhunt.com on your account and you enter the code Bloody Valentines in the redeem code section. And it is up until the end of the month. So go ahead and claim it. This is beautiful. If you don't already if you can't already see it, I didn't see it originally, but the half part here, this is a porcelain mask. I didn't originally know, but yes, it's a porcelain mask, and you've got the gold around here that's part of the mask, and the roses are a part of it. You can make beautiful customization for your character. And just on the same vein of this, and after talking about Twitch drops, I just want people to know, because again, there's been people that have been asking, like new people that have been coming to the game, that have been asking like, what's the frequency of the Twitch drops the grouped Twitch drops, or the what codes are available and all of this. And there used to be some people that kept track of all this, but now they've not been involved too much. So I have been working myself on a list, a Google document of all the Twitch drops and all the free cosmetics that have ever existed for Bloodhunt, and also to let people know if there's codes or not, if they're still available or not to get. And I will be. I just need to finalize a few touches on it. And I will make sure that I keep updating it as things go on, like, for example, this code. And yeah, I'll make sure to share this publicly. I for sure will be posting it on my Twitter and on my Discord whenever I'm going to be done with it. I don't know exactly if there's a place on the Bloodhunt Discord where I may share this, but yeah, just so you know, if ever you're it's just to make sure, at this point, people might want to keep track of all the free stuff that they could have gotten, or they may have, or whatever, they feel like they might have forgotten something or missed something. Gonna make sure that it's out there. In terms of developers, there's a lot of discussions about Bloodhunt that have been happening on the Bloodhunt Discord these days. So this is my weekly reminder for you to join the Bloodhunt Discord if you want to be a part of the discussions, or if you want to give your feedback, if you want to tell people how you feel about certain things. This is where it's happening. Hello Magix, and thank you for the follow, System Error. Notifications are off while I'm doing this. So there was a little discussion here that happened because we were talking about what happened with the solo matchmaking changes. The matchmaking changes basically that they've done last week. So someone was asking, what was the solo matchmaking change back with? Doesn't make any sense. Tobias, the community manager, has answered, it was driving new players away and hurting the player retention. We want new and inexperienced players to have some time to learn the game and get their ratings up before they match versus the best. So again, reminding everyone, the change that they did to the matchmaking last week, I know that some people have not been happy about this, but unfortunately, a lot of the matches were putting people. The matchmaker basically, there was an issue with it where it gathered too many people of too high skill levels together while removing bots, which is something that most people want, or at least a group of the people in the community want. Unfortunately, it was driving away, like you said, a lot of the new players, what we've been trying to get for many months, where suddenly we get more players trying the game, we've got more concurrent players coming into the game. That is an objective that we wanted. Unfortunately, the change to the matchmaker started pushing them away, and that's why you've been seeing, if for the people that pay attention to the Steam charts, of popularity. That is the main and sole reason so far as we expect that that why the numbers have started going down. It's because of specifically the change that happened with very intense matches that happened around the first changes that they did to the matchmaking, when we suddenly, like, personally I love those changes because suddenly, like, games were harder for me, but other people that might not have as much experience as me didn't feel as motivated or as fun to have games in there. So they tried to correct that, and as I explained this week, it feels like they overcorrected a little bit. Tobias goes on and explains a little bit more of the complexity of the changes that happens. It's a triangle of longer times in matchmaking, more bots, and retaining players from different skill levels. Less bots equals longer matchmaking, which drives certain groups away. More players includes very different skill levels, includes that drive the one who don't stand a chance, etc., etc. Which is, you balance it one way, it works a different way. You balance it the other side, you get different. And yeah, it's normal. We need to ensure a balance where we can get the trifecta. Short time matchmaking, better ratio between players versus bots, and getting decently good matches for all. We will keep the effort to find a solution. We might need to do something that adapts to the concurrent players. So dynamic settings takes time. So I want to, like, there's some people that have been saying, like, why aren't they addressing it? It's like you have to kind of read. I don't find it's reading between the lines that much, but he's saying we will keep the effort to find a solution. Basically admitting, right now we agree with you. What we have right now is not optimal. The previous changes, people really, really liked them. It even got some people that had forsaken the game to come back to it and try it again. And they suddenly, like, felt like it was, suddenly, like, the Bloodhunt was good again. And unfortunately, it drove some other people away. So they need to find the perfect way to adapt their matchmaking tool to split people accordingly. So while that's not necessarily giving you an answer of, like, this is how we're gonna fix it, this kind of post, if you open up your mind a little bit, you'll again, like, it's a little bit like I said last week, look at this and go like, wow, the devs have a problem on their hands. This is a problem that they have to solve. Unfortunately, we might complain about it as much as we want to, and, like, there's some people that are in the Discord that are there every day, multiple times a day, to keep pressure on the devs about this. Like, not necessarily thinking that the devs, it's in their best interest to fix this as much as possible, despite the people that are constantly bringing back the feedback about this. Yeah, it is absolutely not an easy solution that they have. An easy problem that they have, and there's no easy solution right now that they are seeing for this. Otherwise, they would have implemented it already. And especially the different drops in different types of players, because we have different types of players with different types of skill levels, and that we want different types of things to happen with the game. Every kind of decision right now that they're doing, it's driving some people away, so they need to find the right balance in matchmaking to please as many people as possible. And I want to point out, it's just for my own sake, fixing the matchmaking or arriving to satisfying matchmaking for everyone is so much more difficult because our player base is so small. If we had more players, it wouldn't be so hard. Like, not saying, like, there's even AAA games that have matchmaking tools that aren't, as perfect. Okay, but still, in grand majority, like, they still work. Here it's much more difficult because like, if we had more players, it wouldn't be so hard, and it wouldn't have like such big effects on the player base when something went wrong. And just, I don't know if you can put it into perspective, but it's the difference between the devs fixing the problem but requiring like some heavy machinery to move some things around, and for Bloodhunt it's more like they're fixing it with tweezers and a magnifying glass, and a little bit of mistake in one direction or the other has some big effects, but still with a tiny community. So again, and I'm going to keep repeating this because I keep repeating it once in a while. If we had a bigger population, let's say we had 2,000, 3,000 concurrent players for the game, a lot of the issues that are currently affecting the game would be not gone away, but they would be much, much less important to the community. You would be able to have pro players playing against pro players all the time. You would have the new players playing with new players all the time. And you would have the mid people that would be split on one end or the other. But right now, again, for a lot of the issues, and not just matchmaking, but for a lot of the issues that have to do with the gameplay, if we had a bigger population, these things would be not resolved, but they would be like much lessened. I want to keep driving that idea every week to people that a bigger population would help fix these issues. Why? Because I think that the community, we need to make efforts in that direction. I'll talk about that later. Yeah, tell your friends about the game. Tell your exes, tell your dog, tell your cats, your parents, to like everyone. Okay. Now moving on from this and actually getting to more news, there is just your reminder again that if you don't remember when they did when the devs put out a learnings article that mentioned what's happening with the full or true crossplay, to say that we know that many of our players want the feature. We're looking into the possibility of adding it, but unfortunately at the moment they cannot guarantee anything. It's just a reminder to everyone that it's still not something that they forgot. It's still on the table. They still don't have an ETA about it. They are still reminding us that they know it's one of the top features, top asks from the community. It's still there. It's still being asked on Discord, on Twitter, on the other social medias, on Reddit. I have to answer that question very frequently on Reddit. Yeah, everyone knows, and the devs especially know. What's the holdup? They are not at liberty of explaining it. As some people might know, it was originally something that was slated for the release of the game originally. They missed the deadline of the launch of the game to have that feature added in, and then since then there's been other features or other things that have been taken priority, and they haven't been able to fully look into it. From what we've been knowing about this, it's a feature that requires a lot of development time and resources. I don't necessarily know about resources, but certainly development time. And it's not something that can be done very quickly or easily, or else like this would have been added to the game a long time ago. Because it's like in the number, I would say it's probably in the top 3 demands from the community. So yes, just a reminder that it's still there. We're not done with this topic. It may come back again. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I want to point out, like, if you want to have a good read, Tobias, on his own Twitter, has made a very, very interesting thread about perception of dev work and feedback in terms of like the player feedback in terms of like what it means or how it's perceived versus how much time it takes for game developers to work on things. It's a very interesting read. I will not go into it today. I might save that for a later time. Maybe we have a week where we have less news to just like go through this. I'd say it's a very, very interesting read, and don't. I recommend not skimming through it. It's like Tobias has worked on other games before, and so he knows a lot about like game dev philosophies, or the ethics, or how all of this works together. It's just a good reminder that things are absolutely not as easy as they seem from the perspective of us players looking to give feedback to devs, and also not knowing exactly how things work in the game studio. You have to, there's still some things that we can be aware of and that we can be mindful of whenever we're requesting some things from the devs. Again, I'm not saying this in a way to defend Bloodhunt devs, by the way. Just in case some people still might have like that misconception that I'm defending Bloodhunt devs. Again, it's kind of like this. It's to inform and let people know that there might be like a bunch of other things that you might not be paying attention to, or be mindful of what's happening behind the doors, to understand why some things are taking too long. Why you suggested some things like a year ago to the devs, and they still haven't done anything about it. Well, it requires more than one voice for first and foremost. But yeah, like I could be talking about like there's some people that have been asking for like new Diablo reanimations and stuff like that for Bloodhunt. I have given my suggestions for new Diablo reanimations like back at launch. And I know that they were noted down because the dev told me that they wrote them down. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that because it's a good idea and the devs agree with you that it doesn't mean that it's going to be immediately put in the game because you suggested it and the devs agree it's a good idea. There's still priorities, and there's some things that need to be added that take different amount of time and different amount of resources. Anyways, it's a very good thread. I recommend to everyone to go take a look at it if that's something that interests you, or if you're intending on giving feedback to the devs. There's also another thread that another answer that Tobias put on Discord again, because some people have been asking what happened to the dev streams. If people don't know, originally during the early access, and even around early access and up to the launch of the game, there were some dev streams from Sharkmob Studios live on set. They were filming. They're live on Twitch, and they were they were talking about different topics, what they were working on. They were sharing roadmaps for the game. And a lot of people have been asking, like, why don't you have dev streams anymore? So here's the answer. Following on the request for dev streams, that is something that was possible with the full team, but less so now. I really wanted to do this, but it's clear how hard it is to get into the work schedule. There's no way to do it without down prioritizing development of the game with the current update release cadence. We don't want to pull devs from their work on the next update of the game to help make preparations / set up things for a stream, setting up the tech, prepping a schedule, having a team of moderators working, etc. The priority for the devs is developing Bloodhunt right now, not talking. As usual, we will tell you about the current priorities in the learnings articles. As for the process for how the feedback is handled, because again, there's some people that have been asking, why don't you do dev streams? We want to give you direct feedback to you that you can see and you can respond to, because there was also in some of the dev streams, there was some live Q&A that happened. And some people think, there's some people somehow that think that feedback on the Discord or on the Twitter is not being taken accounted for. Despite the fact that Tobias and other devs have said that we are looking at feedback from many sources, including like Steam comments that happen in the community section and all of this. Like they're taking feedback from everywhere, and they all have. And that's the thing about community management, they have to take into consideration all of the feedback. It is their job to take all the feedback and put it in, and then, you know, analyze it and regurgitate them and make sure that the feedback is clearly presented to the development team in order to know what are people thinking, what are people adding, like are there cool ideas and suggestions, what are people complaining most about. Like they're all taking all of that into account, like in terms of like community management and feedback. Like it has to be taken into account. So if you're bitching about something on the Discord, they have to read it, they have to take it into account. They don't have to give you an answer to say that we've read it. You just have to know and assume that they are taking care of it, that they have read it, because it's literally some people's jobs to do that. Anyways, as for the process for how the feedback is handled, the majority of the feedback we received is through the survey. The amount of individual feedback is high there, which allows us to see what the community thinks is important. We're able to quickly filter out spam / copies of the same feedback / fake feedback, so it is quite reliable. That's kind of a little hint of way to say that, hey, we know that some people are copying notes with each other, so you can like overwhelm the you're trying to game the survey. We know you're out there. The highlights from that feedback is reported to the team. This has effect on priorities for future patches. We have ongoing meetings during the weeks where new feedback is being brought up across our channels, which is put in relation to the feedback in general, according to scale, tone, and so on. Some of the suggestions we received from one survey might not be implemented until a few patches down, however, since they take more time to integrate, test, integrate upon, etc. That's something that people don't necessarily take into account, is that, you know, you don't just add things, you need to test them. Sometimes the tests come back negative and the devs have to work more on things. That happens. But here he is, Tobias, saying that even like they've been stating, like I said, that they've been taking feedback from a lot of places, but says the majority of the feedback that they receive is through the survey. Now, that is not to be interpreted as the feedback in the feedback channel of the Discord is not being taken into account, because I've seen some people like react that way. It's not that. Is that the feedback channel, it's mostly the same thing being repeated over and over. And a lot of what he's saying there is that the majority of the diverse feedback really comes through from the survey. In terms of like quantity is the way that we're supposed to interpret this. So yeah, when there's surveys, do them and take time to do them like properly. Take them to like say your real intentions and what your real feelings are all about this. Like we've talked about that every time that there's a survey. So yeah, they're taking all the feedback into account. And that is all that I've managed to find or discover or think that was worth reporting here. I want to do a little reminder to everyone that yes, they're still taking in the videos and clips that they want to showcase on their TikTok and Instagram. So make sure you give those out. There is a special section in the Bloodhunt Discord where you can submit videos, or at least you have instructions to submit videos. I'm bringing this up again because there was a discussion on the content creator channel about how exactly this works. Oops, a little bit too much. Okay. So there's Far that asks, do you want the OG file or a file that already fits the TikTok or Insta format? Tobias says he wants the original, best quality if possible. Needy asks, is there a time limit or time frame for each of these incoming highlight posts? And Tobias answers, once we have enough submissions, our editor will make a reel, submit it, and post. It's an ongoing thing. So don't wait. You can just like send them, post them as much as you like, whenever you have some. Send them over, and then they're going to eventually get some reels out for this. So yeah, don't hesitate, do it. I'm actually gonna make myself a reminder because I haven't had time to do that myself. They're going through the videos now too. What do you mean by that, Makrai? That's an information that I missed. Tobias posted yesterday. Oh, okay. I might have missed that. Oh, there we go. We have received lots of video entries. Please be patient. With take quite some time for us to go through and pick them out. And the best of the best. Thank you. Still, okay, Makrai. Thank you very much for posting this. I'll make a note of it. But yeah, still. Despite they have a lot of things and a lot of things to go through, still send them some clips. You know, be featured on the Bloodhunt TikTok and Instagram. Have your trick shots, have your best moments in there. There you go. This is a good way. Good way to do it. I'm waiting with bated breath to see what exactly they're coming up with. Another thing, some people might remember that last week I talked about the idea or the dead project, or the, not necessarily dead project, but the project in Torpor of having custom made icons and banners. And that Combat Glue had one, and some people, like, he gave some codes to a few people. Combat Glue took the time to reply on my YouTube video because he wanted to clarify a little thing about that. I don't know if it can be read. He said, about my banner and icon, it was a project meant for all Inner Circle members. So, so basically all content creators. That would have been very interesting to see. The problem is the manpower and connected to legal parts. So legal parts, of course, they have to go through all the content to make sure that it goes through legal checks to make sure that, you know, you're not putting any offensive or, you know, any kind of like hidden symbols and that kind of stuff in like probably the images or content that you put out there for them to like work on. When I was working for Sharkmob, parts of the processes would be me doing first vetting of the concept. So what he means by that is that the Combat Glue icon and banner was basically a proof of concept. Is that here's how it would work, here's how it would look like, and he was testing it for himself, and he got himself a bunch of codes to be able to distribute. So basically it was just like ready to go, but apparently someone put the kibosh on that and problem stopped. Yeah, specifically because you need manpower, like I said, to go through all the content creator like things and like feedback and all of this. You'd probably have like one person for a while that would be like entirely dedicated to that kind of work, and probably they can't spare a person like that. But yeah, it's a very cool idea, and yeah, now we've got a little bit more details on what that project was supposed or was meant to be. Sag. Another thing that is Bloodhunt related that might interest a few people if you didn't see that, but there was Sharkmob. Sharkmob on their YouTube channel, in their shorts, they started putting some shorts. Like we said last time, there was like UX and UI people, but now we've got character art people, and there's 7 little shorts. Of course, it's meant to be like very lighthearted and like bring a like little levity, like to show like, hey, here, show us your space where you work. Oh, this is the space where I work. This is my favorite space that, you know, I like the lobby. The lobby is cool. I have to admit, their lobby is pretty cool. But the interesting thing is they describe exactly how they do character art and how they put outfits together for the characters. Now, these little videos might be interesting to some people who want to know exactly how the sausage is made behind the scenes. So find that very interesting, and also where they get their concepts from. Might be something worth looking at if you are into all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and artwork and character, like how they make the outfits. It's a little glimpse, okay? It's not explaining the whole process, but yeah, it's just a little glimpse. Now, I have to mention this, but don't take it like too seriously, or it's just because I'm the only one that reports that kind of thing. There was a promo this week specifically for Valentine's Day that was only there for 24 hours. They were doing a Advanced GG was doing a buy one get one free of their products, but with that deal, you also got some free Bloodhunt socks that came along with them, just to add them on top. So it's just to let you know, there's other ways to get the Bloodhunt socks. It's just because I have to let you know. I was told that apparently they were given much more socks than they had blood orange flavors. So there will probably be, like this, some kind of little weird promos that they might that they'll have where they will just add on, oh, by the way, here's a pair of Bloodhunt socks on top of this. So if that is something that might interest you, there you go. Keep an eye on Advanced GG with their Bloodhunt socks. They're gonna add to some things. It's not an indication of the performance of the current bundles or anything like that. Like they were giving many more socks than they had blood orange products, is the way that I understood it, or I was told. Anyways, just to let you know. Boom. Moving on. Moving on to tournament, there is a Bloodhunt tournament that is coming up next Saturday. That is organized by, you might have seen her in the community. She likes to play Bloodhunt once in a while. LauraK 483. LauraK from Club 483. She is doing a charity campaign next week for the Trans Women of Color Collective, and one of the events that are a part of this this celebration, this charity event throughout the week, is going to be, there's going to be a Bloodhunt tournament organized by Team SideQuest. Apparently, it's going to be Saturday, February 25th, between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, we'll get more details about this. I hope there's going to be a little promo from the Bloodhunt account to let people know of this. Probably not too much, because as far as I can tell, this looks like a charity tournament. So if there's people that are expecting prizes from this, I don't think there's going to be any. So this is just like a charity tournament. Also, she has put out this week some of the rules of the Bloodhunt tournament. It seems to be a duo tournament. So yeah, the rules seem to be as follow. Each duo will play 10 games, or as close to 10 games as time will allow. And they'll get points based on the gameplay, and you're gonna have to submit the screenshots to Laura. Laura's gonna compile all of them, and here's the score point. But mostly, like, if there's not any more details that are coming out of this, I encourage you next Saturday. I will actually write this. I encourage you next Saturday to hang in LauraK's channel to support the charity event, and also to support Bloodhunt, and maybe even play yourself go into duos and participate. And yeah, and give to the charity event because this is a great cause. Yeah, I wanted to get a little spotlight on this because this is a current tournament that's happening. But again, I want to recommend to the community of Bloodhunt to put together your own events, your own tournaments, make them public, prepare them in advance, announce them in advance. With a little organization and a little bit of notice in advance, who knows what can happen. Me personally, I'm thinking about organizing my own events in the future, although I've had 2 events that happened very, very recently. So for me, it's time to take a little time off to cool off. But want to remind everyone that one of my events that happened recently has had a subathon that is still currently active throughout the month. That's why I've got this counter right now on the side of the screen about new subs. It's still going on throughout the month, but we've managed to reach 30 subs, so there will be at some point, I say probably next month, I will organize a Discord karaoke night. We're all gonna be awful together, singing weird songs. Hope that it's gonna be fun. Anyways, I'm gonna organize this and let you know about this. But most importantly, in terms of Bloodhunt, I again want to remind people that there's a bunch of people over the months that I've been doing this that have been asking me to start a Bloodhunt talk show of some sort. I'm putting a price on it. We need like 10 more subs, and I will consider doing a Bloodhunt talk show where I'll bring different people of the overall community of Bloodhunt to have, I don't know if it's going to be like some roundtables, some one-on-ones, like some players, some maybe I can get some devs, maybe I can get some ex-devs, maybe I can get some people from World of Darkness. I don't know, but a lot of people have been asking me for this, so there you go. That's really like the last objective. If people want to have that started, that's my price tag, basically. So yeah, this is still up. This is still running for the end of the month, and join my Discord. We've got a Discord that's happening. Want to let you know that on my Discord, also one of the advantages of being in my Discord currently is, well, you get to see all my Twitter posts. There's a section for at least keep track of my Twitter posts because I tweet a lot. There's that. There's a channel to know when I'm going live. There's also a channel to know where I post everything that's related to my Bloodhunt news recap. So if you also want to have this and post this on your own Discord or someone else's Discord to have just the information for the news recap, I have a channel specifically for that as an announcement, so you can have that sent to your own Discord or whatever. And there's a bunch of other things. But these are the main points of having my Discord, is putting everything together in one very easy spot to know exactly what's going on and have notifications for it, because you might not be following necessarily Twitter because the way it works, it's not super user friendly. You might miss things. Anyways. There's some other things I want to tell the community, but I think that is going to be it right now for what is happening in terms of Bloodhunt news. Don't necessarily have a lot of things this week, but what can we expect now? Well, we expect that next Friday, we're very likely going to get the grouped 6 Twitch drops together. They're probably going to be available for everyone. It's probably going to be a week, but this is left to be confirmed. We're still waiting for the conclusions of the survey following the hunting rifle update. We still don't have a learnings article about that. We're possibly waiting for more tuning of the matchmaking, like we've seen earlier in Tobias's post. And overall, we're waiting for some sign of what's to come. So yeah, we are again at the period of it's the waiting game, and we have to do whatever we can on our end while we're waiting for the devs to do their own thing in their own dev time. And like Tobias intimated, like they are working on Bloodhunt. They're not doing anything else. It's specifically Bloodhunt focus. We don't want to pull them away from anything else other than working on Bloodhunt. So that's kind of hinting at they're working, they're doing things. So you know that. Yes, apart from this, like, pay attention to social media and the Discord. If you got more questions about feedback, participate, and yeah, be patient. And as a reminder to everyone that's out there, more and more people, there's still more and more people that are discovering Bloodhunt. Even though like some numbers are kind of falling down and going up or whatever, there's still people like every week that are discovering Bloodhunt. So as a reminder to everyone that whatever you say, that whatever you do and say can either welcome new players to the game or push them away. So be aware of what you're talking about in terms of the game, in terms of the community. That's even for certain people, cough, cough, making thumbnails to your videos where you have a gravestone that says that Bloodhunt is dead. That affects public perception of the game. And some people, just by seeing your little thumbnail, might not want, it might be the decision to go like, well, I'm going to add that to the pile of, I'm not going to try Bloodhunt. I'm not even going to go in that direction. I hear it's dead. You're responsible for this. You're responsible for the social media. You're responsible for the commentaries and the general vibes that you're putting out there. Help the community, please. Anyways, so as a reminder to everyone, if you do pick up on some details like Mokrai did, that might be interested or might be newsworthy, don't hesitate to contact me. Let me know. Give me screenshots of convos or give me the links to the VODs. Anything. I can't be there on every stream, especially this month. I've not been able to participate in a lot of things, and there's only 24 hours in a day. So if you want to help, I would appreciate. My DMs are open on a lot of things. In the evenings, I usually hang out in my Discord and the voice channel. So if you want to pop in and say hi, have a little discussion, talk about some things, share some things with me that you might think that might be interesting for my news report, like come in and say hi. So that's, sorry, I've been rambling a little bit too much. That's it for us here. People that are on Twitch, stick around after this. We are doing the giveaway as usual. And as a reminder, be kind to each other and also to yourself. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.